Good morning. I'm in Melbourne. We've just arrived and are walking through the city. It's a beautiful cold winter's morning, and we have just come down Hosier's Lane, which is well known for all its street art. At the end of the road, you can see at the end of the lane is Federation Square. It's just such a beautiful, colourful little lane, and you can see all the buildings behind it. Melbourne has got such a lovely vibe. We've just had breakfast at a fantastic restaurant called Strozzi's. The cup of tea I ordered came in a teapot, which gave me 4 cups of tea. It was just beautiful. I felt like I was sitting somewhere in Italy. I'm just reading this piece of writing on the wall. The female bee has become so totally adapted for reproduction that she has lost the power of flight. I didn't know that. So we'll explore some of the lanes, because there are apparently quite a few that have got beautiful art in them. This is more graffiti, graffiti art. And Melbourne is, of course, famous for its coffee. So everywhere you walk, there are just coffee shops. The tiniest, smallest little coffee shops. Sometimes they can hold 6 people. But coffee in Melbourne is a big thing. Everybody's got their favorite coffee shop. So coffee is huge in Melbourne. Yeah, we have a dinosaur. And people are so polite. It's just amazing when you cross the street. Pedestrians definitely have the right of way in Australia. So that's Federation Square. And behind Federation Square, the old building, is Flinders Street Station. This area has a special spot in our hearts. We lived in Melbourne for probably 4 years, and when we first came to Melbourne, we came via Flinders Street Station. That was when we first used to come and visit. So, and I remember looking, when you come out of Flinders Street Station, there's a big signpost showing you the Immigration Museum. And I remember thinking at that stage, I wonder what it must be like to be able to immigrate to Australia. And here we are, how many years later? It's a beautiful day. When we arrived this morning, it was grey and raining. We landed really early as we took a pre-dawn flight from Newcastle. On the right here we have a cathedral. It's a beautiful building. And just look at that blue sky. This is St. Paul's Cathedral. It's funny how a city has a different feel. So Melbourne has a totally different feel to Sydney. Neither one is better, it's just interesting how different they are. We've got some seagulls, they're doing traffic control. There's a fellow sitting on the pole, he seems to be in charge. But isn't it beautiful, the blue sky? Who would have thought? When we arrived it was so cold. I'm walking around like a polar bear. I've got 3 layers of clothing on, 2 scarves. So this is Flinders Street Station. I'm just going to zoom in a bit so you can get a closer look. It's a beautiful building. There go the trams. So driving in Melbourne sometimes is a bit tricky because you have these hook turns where you have to cross an intersection. You go into an intersection in order to turn right in front of a tram. Well, not a tram that's moving, obviously. But I know a lot of people are very nervous about driving in Melbourne. Behind Flinders Street Station is the very tall building with the red at the top, and that is the Melbourne Sky Deck. I think it's the tallest building in Melbourne. It's 88 floors high. So you've got a wonderful mix of iconic old buildings, a lot of architectural buildings, a lot of art deco in the city, and then these beautiful modern buildings in between. Outside the front of the cathedral is a bronze sculpture of Captain Matthew Flinders. He was born in March of 1774 and died in 1814. He was a British navigator and cartographer. He led the first inshore circumnavigation of mainland Australia which at that time was called New Holland. And he's credited as being the first person who utilized the name Australia to describe the entirety of that continent, which included Van Diemen's Land, which is now Tasmania. He said this title or this name Australia was more agreeable to the ear. Just below the sculpture are some lovely benches, and on the ground it says ladies only. So the spot is for us ladies. I'm going to see if I can go into the cathedral and film a little bit. I think you are allowed to film as long as there's not a service on the go. Hi. Okay. If I swing to the left from Flinders Street Station, we zoom across towards Federation Square. This is a venue for arts and culture and public events, and it's situated on the edge of the Melbourne Central Business District. The square has quite a distinctive look, as the outside is inspired by fractals, which are complex patterns that are identical both on a smaller scale and when viewed as a whole. The cladding material on the outside of the building is comprised of sandstone, zinc and glass, and they all form these triangular pinnwheel grids. It's a very interesting and rather beautiful building. This is the opposite side of Federation Square, and what is what is just so lovely is the juxtaposition of old and new. So there are a lot of very old buildings that have been renovated, and right next to beautiful new modern buildings. So we're going to walk up the stairs and see what we can find at the top. Oh, there's Melbourne's Eiffel Tower, which is an art centre. So I'm walking around in between the exhibits of the NIDOC Week exhibitions here at Federation Square. So NIDOC Week, NIDOC stands for the National Aboriginal and Islanders Day Observance Committee, and this celebrates the history, the culture and achievements of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It's an opportunity for all Australians to learn about the First Nations culture and history, and to participate in celebrations of the oldest continuous living cultures on Earth. So it's a week of celebrations. There's different little booths with different activities, obviously representing different aspects of the various cultures.
Stay with me tonight, maybe a happy man. Understand each other, we can do the best we can. Could you make me fall now? Coffee would be good. Useful conversations. When we can, then we should. And if we waited till tomorrow, it'll be too late. Then we left here trying to find a way home. Send a message, write down in a song about the trouble, find ourselves in, till the love Him delivers us again, until the love Him delivers us again. For you to stay, robbing back to square one. When we work together, problems we can overcome. Clouds before the shower, one before the rain. Connections all the stronger. Wait until tomorrow, it'll be too late. And we left here trying to find a way home. Send a message, write it down in a song about the trouble we find ourselves in, till the hand delivers us again. Till helping hand delivers us again. Gonna go, persevere and overcome. Like the river, let it flow. Got to keep moving. Circumstances that come and go. Persevere and overcome. Like a river, let it flow. Got to keep moving. Muddy waters, footprints in the ground. Sons and daughters, it's time to look around.
So we've hit the jackpot because they're busy rehearsing. I think they're going to start the concert in about half an hour. So we've just got them practicing.
Muddy waters, footprints in the ground. Sons and daughters, it's time to look around.
So the traditional owners of this area are the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. They are the original traditional owners of the land and the guardians of the land. And we pay them our respects.